What's up, gang? If you to be honest, I actually wasn't planning on posting, because I know I missed the Hurricanes game, which was a good game. I was just a little busy, and then tonight I find myself a little busy too, but decided to take a break from what I'm doing and just talk about this game really quick. Especially since I was posting on Instagram, I was like, let's just grind it out really quick. But Blues lose this one 3-2 against the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets continued to be the only undefeated team in hockey, but the St. Louis Blues, I felt like did a pretty good job this game. First period started off, I thought that there was a bunch of energy from this team, and we were matching the Winnipeg Jets very well. I loved everything I saw. For the most part, from this team in the first. I mean, I felt like it was back and forth with the Jets. We'd come down, and it didn't feel like it was only one and done. And if it was, then we'd come back and we'd skate hard, and we'd come in for the back check and make sure they're one and done too. But it was back and forth. But there was a couple times where it wasn't only one and done for the Blues, which we never really get to see. Pucks were being thrown on the net, and it was just looking really good. Uh, big forecheck from Jordan Kyrou on the Blues goal, coming in down low, and then Robert Thomas sweeps this puck in the corner, comes all the way around to the point, just throws it on net, and then Brandon Saad's right there in front of the net. Taps this one in for his 500th career NHL point. Congrats to Brandon Saad. He has been a very good piece since we signed him, and I would love to keep him around. I don't know. I'm still torn just because we're getting younger, but Brandon Saad with his 500th point and his second straight game on the first, second straight game on the first line, which seems a little out of place, but they're just trying to find something. Uh, but Brandon Saad scores, St. Louis Blues go up 1-0. I felt like they ended the first period really well too, and you go into the second with a lead. It's good stuff. Next thing you know, third period happens, and then for some reason everything was kind of thrown out the window. It was weird. Uh, the St. Louis Blues got sloppy. Lots of people running into each other, and also fantastic chances from the Jets and pure goal scoring. I mean, Niederreiter's tip was nasty. Kyle Connor's snipe was gross. That was gross. It's just like some of these little things that the Jets do, they do right. What I liked about the Kyle Connor goal, if we had a pure shooter like that, he was kind of hiding along the boards there. Nobody saw him. Everyone was puck watching pretty much, and he was just in the slot, or not in the slot, along the boards. And when you noticed that puck was coming up, the play was coming back to the D, to the point, he then zoomed down. And then there was that open lane for him, and he's scoring 70%. It doesn't matter what goal you are, he's scoring that 70% of the time. Kyle Connor is absolutely on fire right now for the Winnipeg Jets, and we should have known that was coming. But yeah, St. Louis Blues let up 3 goals in the second period. It's not looking good. Not looking good. Then the third period comes around. I kind of had a problem watching this third period a little bit, but it seemed the Blues kind of picked up a little bit of the slack from the second period. They're still playing pretty solid. I felt like defensively they really stepped it up too. And then Binnington made a couple good saves out there. But the big thing in the third period is Robert Thomas would take a shot, and he would not return this game. So Thomas is gone. He's going to get an X-ray scan to see what's going on with that, and then we'll just have to wait and see what's going to go on with Robert Thomas. He didn't return for the rest of the game. St. Louis Blues kind of late in this one too. We get a power play on a uh, what is that called? Delay of game, and nothing came out of it. Nothing. It's actually a very poor power play. Thing is with Winnipeg Jets, I see people complaining about like the dumping and it's not working. If you're gonna dump, somebody needs to be full speed. You got to get the timing right. You got to get the timing right. If you, as a winger too, obviously it's either going to be center or D. Coming from center ice from the D zone coming in, you have to get a good read on what they're doing if you're a winger and just zoom. That's why I think like Holloway or Joseph or Bolduc or Neighbor who's powerful along the boards too. You have to get in there quick. Have to get in there quick. It has to be timing. Everything's timing. And the St. Louis Blues, I feel like it wasn't for sure. I feel like they may have taken a little bit too long with deciding if they want to dump this or not. I mean, Hellebuck would come around and stop this, and the Jets D is really quick too. But also at the same time, I felt like the Jets D was playing the blue line really well too. I felt like they were kind of clogging that up, and I didn't really see too many areas to where the St. Louis Blues could come in and work the magic. Also, the absence of Robert Thomas late in this power play was a big factor. Some of those times where it doesn't seem like we could get anything just crossing the blue line and working for something, Thomas is out there and he makes it work. Robert Thomas is a fantastic hockey player. He's probably the most or the best overall hockey player on the St. Louis Blues, and his absence will be a big, big pain in the ass. But we clearly were missing him on the power play, and the St. Louis Blues are 0-10 in the last 10 power plays. Absolutely frustrating to see, but you just gotta hope they pick it up. Next thing you know, games late, we call timeout, we pull the goalie, and nothing's working out. Braden Shen had a chance. It bounced over his stick late in the game. I got barely any of his blade on it. And yeah, Blues lose this one 3-2. I forgot about I forgot about Saad's second goal. I'm so sorry. Saad scored in the third period, like halfway through. Yeah, 501 points. I just forgot about that. Let's just focus on the negatives. That's so terrible of me. But yeah, overall, I felt like this game was actually a step in the right direction, but also a step back too. If you look at the rest of the league, the Colorado Avalanche right now are heating up. They're, I think, on a 3-game heater or maybe a 2-game heater. The Nashville Predators finally won their first game. Expect for them to get going. The Winnipeg Jets obviously take the win tonight. That's huge for them. I mean, Dallas lost, but that's whatever. But then the Wild continue to stay hot, beating the defending Stanley Cup champions and the Florida Panthers. So that was something to keep an eye on. And Dokes, I'm gonna throw you right over there. Um, so yeah, at this point, I think the biggest thing for the Blues and their reason for failure is lack of a pure goal scorer. I think the depth by Doug Armstrong built is insanely good. Um, crazy, crazy good. I mean, I love the additional Holloway. I think Mateo Joseph is my favorite player on the Blues right now. Philip Broberg has been awesome. His point streak ends tonight, which is frustrating. But Robert Thomas is a great one center. Jordan Kyrou, I think, is a great third star winger. I think we're missing a big time like goal scoring winger, and maybe Jimmy Snuggerud's that. Maybe this is a part of the plan, and us fans just have to be a little bit more patient. Uh, I mean, they didn't say that they're going to be pushing and get the playoffs, but they're going to stay competitive. And I think overall, right now, they have been competitive. I think they've done a great job being competitive. I mean, you see each game we've played. I think the only one that was kind of a shitty one was against the Wild, but we still only lost that one. What was it, 3-4-1 with the goalie goal? Um, but I mean, against the only undefeated team in hockey, we stuck in there. 3-2 loss against the hottest goaltender in the league. It's not too bad. Do I think playoffs are going to happen? I uh, I don't think so. There we go. I don't think so, but expect expect us to stay in the loop. I think it's going to be a lot like last year. It's just we're going to be a little bit more in there. The unfortunate thing is the East actually, I would say, got weaker in losing, you know, Stamkos and Brady Shea and, some big pieces like that. And they come over to the West Coast, to the Central Division of all places, right? So, um, just the way it goes, I don't think the Blues will make it. I think they will be okay. I expect the same draft pick as last year. They'll stay in the loop for sure. It's just I don't think they could get it done. Um, and then this may be a little stretch, but the offseason I think it's going to be interesting. You have Mitch Marner, which I actually wouldn't go for. I'd throw all the money you have at Mikko Rantanen, who's going to be a UFA if he doesn't resign. Uh, or you could wait for Jimmy Snuggerud, who's probably going to come over, but I just don't think he's going to make a big difference right away. Um, you also do have Dvorsky, but I don't think he's a goal scorer either. That's a big thing. I think he's a good two-way center. And then I'm actually really excited for him to come up because the moment we could get Thomas, Kyrou, and Buchnevich together, I think that's going to be a huge help. Huge help. And if you could snag a line of like, I, I, Neighbors, I want to say Bolduc, but I'm a big fan of Holloway and Joseph. One of those three and Dvorsky as a second line. Maybe even sometime later. I think our center depth is strong yet weak. Our star power is weak. It's just second line. What we're struggling with here, because Buchnevich, he's a great player, and I like the idea of him being a center and a playmaker and driving plays. I think that's okay, but I just feel like for offense, you have to do Kyrou, Thomas, Buchnevich right now. Uh, and then, I mean, you have Shen, you have Foxa, you have Sundqvist. I'm not a Sundqvist fan anymore. Don't want to say not a fan. It's more like I'm pretty sure this is his second ACL tear. A great player, but even when he didn't tear his ACL last year, I thought he did not play good. I didn't think it was great, and I'm not expecting anything to be great. But I mean, so far this team is staying competitive even with some injuries, like Nicoletti, he's hurt. Scott Perunovic isn't playing. Walker isn't playing. Kapanen shouldn't be playing. Uh, Sundqvist isn't playing. Tucker isn't playing. The this team has some depth pieces, but I think if they're in a competitive spot and the deadline comes around, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a big time goal score. Maybe we'll just see. I'm rambling off too long now. I didn't even talk about the game. I'm just talking about the future and stuff. But we'll see. That's gonna be all from me, guys. It's gonna be a quick one. Sorry about the miss on the Hurricanes game. That's my bad. Mix of busy and laziness too. So it's not totally like, but hopefully it's cool. I appreciate everybody for coming out. And our next game, I believe, is Saturday? Let me double check. Let me double check that one. I believe it's going to be Saturday. Normally, oh wait, no, today's Tuesday. It might be Thursday. Yeah, Thursday they're going to be in Toronto, the St. Louis Blues, uh, and they go what 2-2 this homestand. So nothing great. I would have loved to be 3-1, but it's all right. We played some good teams at home. Anyways, that's all for me. I hope everybody has a good rest of the night. I love all of you. Good night.